What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube followers out there? My name is Aubrey, and of course,
my name's Efren.
And today we're going to be diving on to the review of Mandalorian Season-1 Episode-1. Let me remind you, Efren hasn't seen any of the Season 2 of Mandalorian.
Mandalorian, yes.
So we're doing a recap right now. We'll be doing some reviews and some reactions for like next year's, or this Christmas actually, December's next Season 3 of Mandalorian. So we're just doing a recap and get some of Efren's reactions on, of course, the second season. Yeah, we'll just go from there. First off, thank you for watching our channel. You know, this is going to be our first review of this Mandalorian Season 1 Episode 1.
That's right. So we appreciate all you viewers. We appreciate everything for having to support us in our journey. We do definitely have a lot of things here coming in. You know, we do have a lot of reviews. We do have a lot of other projects coming soon. So stay tuned. Make sure you let your friends know as well.
Let your brothers know, let your cousins know, your sister, your girlfriend, everybody.
Your mother, your father,
your ex-girlfriend, whatever.
Ex-girlfriend.
Anybody. Just let them know, because we're coming in hot. Well, first off, I wanted to talk about, you know, the introduction of this. I've seen this episode maybe, this is my third time watching this episode. I don't know how many times you watch it. I love Star Wars so much.
Probably third time, fourth time.
The third time?
Yeah, because I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, dude, this is so sick. I actually watched it with my brother. Then I watched it again with my cousin. Yeah. Just so I can like show them. They're like, what?
How do you feel about the you know, the atmosphere of the new kind of gritty tone to it? It's like darker. It has
some lines.
It's not like your kiddie cartoony kind of thing. I mean, but Clone Wars is pretty dark.
So was Clone Wars
for animated. I got him to watch all seasons of Clone Wars, and I'm barely at Rebels Season 2.
I'm almost done.
And he's almost done. And he caught up to me. So I told him, you know what, before you watch Mandalorian or Season 2, watch Clone Wars. Because there's going to be a lot of Easter eggs and motifs. There's going to be a lot of things in Clone Wars that's like characters. I'm not going to say, I don't want to spoil it for you, but like a lot of characters that's going to just connect. I mean, Mandalorian just like fixed the Star Wars universe, the genre, the franchise. So this is why Disney is just so strict right now.
It is.
I like the fact that it started off strong, and a lot of people are calling it like a futuristic, Dirty Harry, Clint Eastwood-ish, you know, Western type of film. Cowboys. It's almost like Cowboys and Indians, because like even towards the episodes you'll find like natives, you know, that don't get along with like the society. A lot of things going on. But that's in Season 2.
If you actually watch Clone Wars and you watch like previous ones, you kind of start understanding a little more of the Mandalorians and really how they are. Like the first time I watched Mandalorian, the first season, I just thought it was just cool, like the way the concept was, the way that they made
the way they shot it,
the way they shot it, the audio,
it's so
like
clean.
It's everything it's put together.
They use a lot of authentic, as much practical effects as possible, because that's Star Wars. Remember the old classic Star Wars?
Oh yeah.
It's not too CGI. I mean, there's CGI. You have more of like practical effects, more sets. Yeah.
Definitely.
Of course, during the story of Mandalorian, we find Mando. He finds his first bounty. He saves his bounty from like these thugs trying to like bully him at the bar. After that, he takes the bounty. He's like, oh well, you know, you can come in hot, you can come in cold.
Either way, you know.
Either way. At first, I didn't know what that meant by like hot or cold, what he meant. Until
right off the bat, I already knew.
Like, what do you mean by cold and hot? Like
cold and hot, I knew.
Like
warm is like you're either coming in warm,
he said
or you're cold because you're dead.
Warm is like because your
body temperature,
your temperature, right? Or cold because you're
dead.
You're in carbonite. Cold meant because I can freeze you.
Oh, that too. Yeah. I kind of took it like you can either go in dead or alive.
I mean,
because cold can be also, once you're dead, you get cold. Certain bounty hunters, but some of them are like
you get
dead or alive.
Paid dead or alive, right?
Just depending on how bad they want them alive. If they don't really want them alive, then they'll be like, here, I'll give you less money.
Yeah.
But I'll pay,
which brings us to
exactly what happened with this last one.
Yeah, with one of the empires. I don't know if he's like an imperial officer or like an ex-imperial officer, because of course he meets up with him. It was like a job that a lot of the bounty hunters took, but then never came back.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you find out why.
You find out why later on down the episode. I forgot the guy's name, but you know, it's the guy who's pretty much paying him to take this bounty. Basically, he was offering him Beskar, and and Beskar is that metal.
As that metal that their outfit.
And at first I thought it was like credits, that like the currency that they had in Star Wars. Not, what do you call it? Not Imperial credits. What would they call that?
Well, it was kind of like
Universal credits or something like that. Yeah, it's like the currency that they use in Star Wars. At first I'm like, okay, that's like gold, right? But then we find out, because he only gave him a sample, like it's kind of like a down payment basically. I'll give you this 1 bar of Beskar. It's kind of like our down payment to show you that I'm serious. So he takes a Beskar, he goes back to the tribe, right? Because the Mandalorian is a Creed.
Yeah.
So he meets up with
the Smith.
The Smith. I think her name is Armor. I think that's her name. So she's like the lady Mandalorian, the blacksmith that actually creates the armor. And they melt the Beskar to create the armor. That's like gold to them. That's like another currency because it's indestructible. There's a history between Mandalorians and Jedis. They don't get along with each other. There's like a war between them. So like they had to wear these armor because they know that the lightsabers can cut through anything, any metal, except for Beskar. That's why Beskar is.
What is it that they call it? A kind, that crystal that they kind.
Oh yeah, it's like the crystal that they put inside the.
For the lightsaber.
For a lightsaber that each
the
Padawan, each youngling have to go through trials. You watched that in Clone Wars, right? When Ahsoka was training the younglings.
Yeah.
Was it
Takes
Ahsoka?
them to the mountain.
Takes them to the mountain.
And Yoda.
Yoda. It's the same scene, a reminiscent to the scene of Yoda with Luke Skywalker, Empire Strikes Back, where he had to go through a cave and then see your dark self. You have to take these paths, going through these trials and tests. And if you lead to this path, then you can't be a Jedi, or you don't earn that crystal. Like you have to go through all the dark stuff first. And if you pass it, you're a Jedi.
You have to overcome.
You have to overcome it. So yeah, Beskar.
So pretty much their armor.
Yeah, the armor. Beskar is like gold. It's indestructible. It's like the adamantium metal in the Star Wars universe. On the way, he takes a ship. He finds out that like you can't just like fly over to pick up the child. We're not gonna say a child yet because we don't know yet. But pick up the bounty. These alien guys who are just like protecting it.
But I feel like it's like he just went in there and pretty much broke into.
Well, he had to train. He can't take a ship to fly over there because he has to kind of go incognito or something like that. He has to go by
he goes
by
through
foot.
His own obstacles.
By foot, yeah. He meets with
What is the name of that little guy?
Alien dude, the cool guy.
I have
spoken guy, yeah. Oh man, it's in the tip of my head. I forgot it's a famous actor, of course.
Yeah, you guys remember,
you guys
put it down in the comment section.
I'm sorry.
We're over here.
We forgot to write our notes.
Have spoken.
And he teaches him how to ride a Borg.
A Borg?
Is it a Borg?
I don't even know the name.
That fish alien. The fish alien that looks with T-Rex arms.
Apparently they're as fast as one of those speeders.
No, they're not fast, man. They run with 2 legs.
Apparently in Clone Wars in Rebels, they were running as fast.
Did you
as
see
those.
one of them? I don't remember. Did you see one in Clone Wars?
I think
there was a few of those,
Rebels
right?
too.
You're Rebels, okay. They're supposed to be good for transportation.
Yeah.
How to Train a Dragon.
Yeah.
How to ride a... Look, I don't know what it is. I think it's Borg or Morg or Borg.
We have to look it up.
You're gonna have to look it up again. He gets trained for like barely 10 minutes, and he's like a professional. Because the I Have Spoken guy
he is a Mandalorian, so
the I Have Spoken guy was like, you know what?
Be able to pick it up too.
Yeah, because your ancestors have learned to ride like dragons in the past. Your ancestors are known to do so many things, so this should be like cake for you. So he learns to ride that. They ride together. He finds the place where they're holding the package, the mountain. Yeah. Of course, he gets ambushed. And there's a bunch of them. So there's something very valuable about this bounty. Why you need like 10 or 20, 30 of these guys. He ends up meeting up with...
the hunter droid.
The hunter droid. IG-11.
IG-11.
Now, Efren thought he was the same droid that was with the bounty team with Boba Fett. But I said, no, it's the same type of unit, but it's not the same droid. It's just
more upgraded.
Just like C-3PO.
Pretty much, he's like a translator.
Yeah, he's a translator.
Yeah, a universal translator.
Yeah, and he connects with humans more because he can speak English. So, there's like different versions of him, but they look like him, but it's not C-3PO.
Yeah, they're just upgraded versions.
Just like this one hunter droid who was IG-11. We find another hunter droid in The Empire Strikes Back. We find another hunter droid in, Clone Wars.
Clone Wars and Rebels as well.
Yeah. So there's a couple of these units around, but this guy is like specifically a unique one. He has his own personality, his own memories. He's in no relation to like the other hunter droids that you've seen in the past. And he's dope, man. He's like the Terminator. A skinny droid like that, you wouldn't think that he can fight like that. I mean, he has like battle tactics.
Exactly. He's
Like
definitely
he looks like a stick. He looks like the stick from
That's what happens with all
from
that
A Bug's
knowledge.
Life.
All that knowledge, he just shoots right through, targets everything.
like-
Reminds me of Deadpool.
So he's like terminating everything. He's doing RoboCop stuff.
It's all geometry right
And
there.
his head's turning and it's just scanning all around and he's pinpoint everything.
Targeting everything. He knows already how to do it.
Mando was like, you're down to split the payment. We team up.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it would make sense for the robot and for.
I didn't know
for the
that
droid.
robots had personalities, and it's just
Yeah,
like,
he's
sure, I'll split it with you. Like, what?
Sure. Sure, that is acceptable.
It's like, what are you gonna do with the money, robot? Like,
I know.
like, what are you? Oh, new parts, maybe. New transmission.
Any new
a
parts.
transformer for my arm. Because that's rusting up. So I thought it was pretty funny how the droids have personality, and they're also trying to make a living out of themselves, right? They're trying to pay bills. maybe IG-11 has IG-11 little kids at home that he's trying to feed.
Little robots that were
Little baby
manufactured.
little IG-11 robots. Like, look,
IG-11 and a half.
robots got to eat. We got to fuel ourselves. So I don't mind splitting the bill. I'm like, all
It's
right.
either that or he was gonna get disintegrated and
Or-
chopped down and
Or what if
Make a
IG-11
party.
was actually by his creator? Maybe his creator sent him. Maybe he's being controlled. Who knows? In the Star Wars lore, even R2-D2 has a personality. We also find out that Mandalorian, in this episode, Mandalorian does not like droids. But they don't explain in this episode. Like, we don't know why he doesn't like droids. Towards the end of this episode, he's teaming up with a droid.
yeah.
Like, I don't trust droids, but I guess I'll team up with you. It's
Oh,
me
they
versus
both
20
benefit.
people. Yeah, we can benefit from each other. And then
You
they
guys
meet up.
already know too.
So they kill all the
Hunters
I don't even know what to call them, if they're pirates or
protectors. All the people are
the
protecting Baby Yoda.
protectors. We find out, of course, that the bounty is 50 years old. And we're trying to figure out, okay, like, who's 50 years old?
Must be an old person.
This person must be very, very, very important for these guys to, like, gather up and ambush us for, like, obtaining this bounty. So they find out this little egg shaped thing opens up and you see tiny little fingers, little green little fingers
ET
coming out.
fingers.
Little ET fingers coming out and ears coming out. So I'm thinking, it's Gizmo from the Gremlins. Is it a Mogwai?
Oh,
It's
no.
not a Mogwai. And it's like it's a Yoda.
It's a Baby Yoda.
You know what? The first time I actually saw this episode, I'm like, wait a minute. Is that Yoda when he was a baby? What timeline are we in Star Wars?
that's
Is this
exactly-
like right
That's
before
exactly
everything?
what I was thinking at the
Is
beginning.
this Yoda? Like Yoda's
Before?
origin? No, can't be. This can't be like the past.
Yeah, because then you find out, like, as you're like, wait, what?
But it's not though, because you have stormtroopers there.
Exactly.
So I was confused a
And
little
they were
bit.
talking about the Empire too. So
Right.
Pretty much after what the Empire falls.
When the Empire fell, when Luke Skywalker defeated his father dies, the Empire just broke out, just disbanded, and there was peace in the galaxy because the Jedi's won this time. Anakin Skywalker actually set the balance between the light side and the dark side, so he was able to set the balance. But this is like what? It's maybe
It's,
like 4 to 6 years after Return of the Jedi. Yeah, man.
Could be. Yeah, about
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's some timeline, and that's why. We should put the link. Don't you think? Like every single one episode, so that way everyone can kind of follow the trend. Because the way that they had it was watching episode 4, 5,
Yeah.
and going back to 1, 2. But then they'll tell you about Clone Wars. They'll tell you about Rebels, and they'll tell you how that in between each episode, or how it fills in the gap, and you kind of see what happens in between all those year timelines. So I believe we should write, I guess, the list.
Yeah,
of what
I don't read the books. There's also stories about the books, and now they're canonizing some of the Star Wars books. So like some of the, you know what I mean, there's like side stories books that's like still connected, but there are also other books that are not canonized to like the films and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
But this is canonized, of course. Mandalorian is of course part of the lore of, they call it the Star Wars universe, the SWU.
SW.
You know how there's an MCU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Continuity. And yeah, that's episode 1. We've watched it a few times, even though if we still couldn't get the name of a high-spoken guy.
Yeah,
I'm sure everybody knows what his name
I'm
is.
sure. Just write down in the comments.
Just write down the comments.
What you guys think?
Yeah, man, and we do compilations. We'll be doing some reactions, of course, in the near future. Look out for WandaVision. WandaVision on the 15th. We are definitely going to do a reaction on that.
We definitely will.
And we're going to do reactions on Mandalorian Season 2 because Efren has not seen it yet.
Not yet.
I've seen it. He hasn't. So
I'm waiting.
he's caught up to pretty much all the Star Wars stuff. He's at Rebels Season 4. So he's caught up. Yeah.
Caught up. I
He's
finished
caught
all
up.
Clone Wars.
He watched all the Clone Wars, man. He binge watched everything. Because I try to get other people to binge watch it, at least 1 or 2 seasons, and they're like, "How many seasons is it?"
Yeah.
7.
Well, I mean,
What? How many episodes per season? What? 12?
yeah.
About 12, 15?
12, 15.
Depends, right? About 12. Yeah, so it's a lot. But hey, if you really want to understand the character development of some of the characters of season 2, watch Clone Wars. There's video YouTubes of like, you know, maybe some episodes that you can skip that's not too relevant of the story.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what do you
But
think about it?
it's still good because you kind of understand the characters. Especially for like Anakin.
Yeah,
people,
the Jedis.
The Jedis.
Yeah.
Mostly for the Jedis because kind of like you kind of get to see, and also for the clones as well. See what like.
Yeah, the
what
clones.
really happened with
The personalities.
You see they're just like clones. Okay, cool. They're there to fight. That's it. Then after that, you find out that they just retire them.
And
so
yeah.
you kind of, when you go back to like Clone Wars or Rebels, you kind of find out what ended up happening to them, what caused everything that got Anakin to be who he became. You know, all that stress that he went
Yeah,
through.
man. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So you
And some
understand.
people who follow the movies don't like to watch animated things, but I mean, I know we're talking about Mandalorian, but Clone Wars is also a good series.
Yeah.
It's
Good story.
It's a good story. You know, it's a good story. It's the same people who wrote Mandalorian, or you know, so you got some of the people. Jon Favreau, who's directing Mandalorian. He's also the voice of Death Watch leader.
Death Watch leader.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
The guy
The guy that Bo-Katan had to fight.
Oh yeah.
That's Jon Favreau,
Oh,
and
okay.
he directed the first episode of Mandalorian.
Oh,
So
that's right.
Jon Favreau is freaking awesome. He knows, he's such a creative writer. He knows how to start an origin of an expanded universe. He did Iron Man. If it wasn't for Jon Favreau hiring Robert Downey Jr. and directing Iron Man, you wouldn't have an Avengers MCU film. He's good at really starting an origin of an expanded universe. And that's what he's doing with this.
It's gonna open up.
He's
whole
opening,
field.
dude. He's, oh my gosh, especially the Disney,
Stay tuned.
the
with
Disney Plus stuff.
all
Oh
the
my
new stuff that's coming.
gosh, 15 Star Wars spin-offs. That's crazy, both animated and live action.
So be ready.
Oh my gosh, I
That's
can't
kind of
wait.
what's gonna open up this whole series.
Yeah.
A universe.
The Avengers started because of Jon Favreau. I mean, you had different directors for different films, but Jon Favreau started it all that. So
Yep.
he's a goat.
Yeah.
Jon Favreau's a goat. And
Keep
yeah,
up the good work.
what do you want to rate this episode of Mandalorian?
I give it a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
I just like the way like from the beginning it starts out with action.
Yeah.
It's not boring.
The build-up.
The episodes aren't too long. They're not like 50 minutes long. I mean, that would be cool if they make them 50 minutes long.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome if they expanded instead
But
of.
it's dude, he spent so much money.
They spent a lot of money, but you
it's
know
a
what?
big budget production episode. So
But you know what? Disney owns it, so I'm sure Disney can cough up something.
no, but you know what? I at first I was like, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes is kind of
That's still
short.
pretty.
The length time of it's almost like watching a cartoon.
Yeah, but if you only make 7 episodes, it's not really much of a season. It's more like a movie.
It's almost like a movie, like a
It's
long movie,
literally like a
like a Lord of the Rings,
like a 3.5.
extended Lord of the Rings 4 hour. Have you watched
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings?
that's 8
The ex-
episodes, pretty
that's-
much. 7
each-
episodes, that'd be
each-
3.5 hours.
One time I bought the extended edition. It was like an hour extra for each movie. The Fellowship of the Ring, well, The Return of the King was the third one, and then of course the Two Towers. Like each one had an hour more, so it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an extended film.
It really was. It did open up for me to start watching more Star Wars, because when I started watching Star Wars, I only watched the big episodes of movies, but I never was really into it like that until I saw Mandalorian, and I started watching the season. Then that's when you told me about Clone Wars. I started watching Clone Wars. I got into it more. Then it opened up, and I'm like, okay, now I connect a lot of the gaps.
Yeah.
For
Yes,
everything, instead of me
yes.
just kind of hearing it from someone,
Yes.
I kind of see where the director with the writer is
Mhm.
like leading everyone.
And this is the same thing with Mandalorian.
Yeah.
They're redeeming questions that a lot of people were like questioning for the past 10, 20 years of like, what happened to this? What happened to that? Why is this? Like, what happened in between those times? Like, something happened. And that's what they're doing with The Mandalorian. Clone Wars fills in a lot of the gaps.
And
Rebels fills in the gaps. Some people don't like Solo. I personally, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. I like Solo.
I like Solo.
So I hope they're gonna start making a second Solo.
Duo.
The sequel's gonna be duo.
Duo.
Solo duo.
Solo's duo.
Or 2-0.
2.0.
Dose. And I give it a 5-star, of course, because this is the first successful live action Star Wars
That brought in a
series.
lot of people.
Series
Like,
that brought this episode alone kept people in Disney Plus accounts.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true. And plus, I mean, that's crazy. Just Baby Yoda alone. Everybody knows
Oh my
Baby Yoda.
gosh.
People don't know like
Baby
the
Yoda's
story,
so-
but they know who Baby Yoda is.
I'm not gonna tell you what his name is, but he has a name now.
Oh yeah.
But spoiler alert, I
I'm
can't
not
say.
gonna- No.
For now, we're just gonna call him Baby Yoda because he hasn't seen season 2, and we're gonna get into that.
So everybody, write your comments.
Write your comments
Tell
right
us
down
what you
below.
think.
Of course,
Tell us what you rate it.
absolutely. Subscribe to this. Where can they find you? Instagram.
Instagram, you can find me at Efra
Oh,
Santos.
it's right there. Yes, Efra Santos.
Efra Santos.
And then, of course, right here in this bar, you'll find me in Aubrey_Freely_81. That is my Instagram. We are Crown Gambit.
Crown Gambit.
We'll tune in next time. Thanks, guys.